Hello everyone, in this Blender tutorial we are going to create this pizza cutter, and this is going to be a sub-D modeling workflow, and this is going to be a beginner friendly tutorial, so let's get into it. Firstly, I delete the camera and the default light from the scene. Then I go to front view by pressing 1 on the numpad. You can also go to the front view by pressing this gizmo, or to the side view. You can also press 3 to go to side view and 7 to go to top view. With Ctrl 1 you can go to the back view, and anyways you can check here which view you are in currently. So we are going to use the front view, so I press 1 on the numpad, and now I want to drag and drop the reference image in. I'll upload this reference image to the description. Just drag and drop it in, and as you can see, this pizza cutter is 19.3 centimeters tall. So I want to make this cube this big. So I select all these values by holding left mouse button and dragging down, and I want to type in 19.3 cm. This will convert it into meters, and now I want to scale the reference image accordingly. So I select it and then I press S on the keyboard and scale it in. And with G you can grab it to position. We want to scale it in a bit more. And now, as you can see, we can't see the reference image, but we can easily fix it by pressing Alt Z. This will go into X-ray mode and we can see through the object. Now I want to place it somewhere in the middle. With these circles here you can place it in the middle. Now I want to delete this cube because we don't need it anymore, and I want to duplicate this image. You can do that by pressing Shift D, and with the right mouse button you can cancel the operation, but as you can see here we have two pictures now. I want to select the second one and rotate it on the Z axis 90 degrees. You can do it by pressing R, but because we are in the front view it will rotate in that way. But if you press Z now, it will rotate it in the blue axis, and you can type in 90 degrees. It disappears from the view, but if we jump into right orthographic view, we can see that we have a picture right here. Now this is flipped. This axis is the front, that way. So I want to invert this picture. We can do it easily by pressing S, then scale it on the y-axis -1. And now we can place it somewhere in the middle by grabbing it on the y-axis. However, you can grab it on the y-axis by pressing G, then Y, but I prefer it by pressing G. Then with the middle mouse click, you can, if you hold it down, you can move it left and right. If you drag it up, you can move it up. If you release it, you can position everywhere where you want in the specific axis. I usually use this technique because it's a bit faster. Now jump into front view, and while this all selected, I want to move it somewhere in the back, and with this selected as you can see, we can't see it in the user in the perspective view, but this dot indicates it, so I want to move it a bit back. Now if we jump back to front view, we can start modeling. You can add in primitive shapes by pressing Shift A. This menu will pop up, and we want to start with the blade because this is the most simple part of the object. And I want to start with the cylinder, and as you can see, this is big, 2 meters. We can change it down here, but the divisions are too big, so I want to decrease it to 16. And I want to scale it by hand, so I press S on the keyboard, scale it in, and I want to rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees, so it's facing the correct way, and grab it to position. After that, scale it a bit, and so that it matches the reference image. Now if we jump to right orthographic view, you can see that the reference image not aligning well. We can easily fix it by grabbing it up a bit, and also I want the blade to be in the middle, so I grab it a bit back. Now I want to select the cylinder and then scale it in on the y-axis quite a bit, because this is a very tiny blade. Then in the front view, I want to go to edit view. You can do it by pressing tab, and as you can see, we have vertices now. You can jump to edge mode with pressing 2 on the keyboard, and to face mode by pressing 3 on the keyboard. Of course, with 1 you can select vertices. Of course, there's button for that also if you don't want to use shortcuts. Right here, I prefer shortcuts, so I'll be using them. Now I want to select the middle faces, so I jump into front view and drag here. This will select both faces, but I want to do it that way. But if you are in solid view, so you can jump to solid view with Alt Z. If I want to select both faces, it won't select the other one. In X-ray mode, if we select it, both will be selected, so that's a good thing to note. Now, with both selected, I want to insert these faces. This is a must to know tool, so by pressing I, we can insert it. I want to drop it somewhere where this other line goes, and then I want to delete these faces by pressing X and faces. Now I want to go back to solid view, so I press Alt Z. Then I want to select an edge loop that goes around. You don't have to select it one by one. If you hold down Alt and then left mouse click, it will select it for you. And I want to fill this face in with the grid fill tool. This is a very handy tool. You can access it by pressing Ctrl F, then selecting grid fill. And as you can see, it is a bit rotated, so I want to follow the middle line, the axis. So with the offset you can rotate it to position. Now I want to do the same at the back side, so Ctrl F, grid fill, and rotate it to position. And now as you can see, this blade is not very sharp, So what we can do is select this whole loop. By pressing Shift and Alt we can select the other loop and scale it in on the y-axis 0. If you press 0 it will move these vertices to the center, but be aware because now we have two vertices in the same place, so if we move out this, there's another on top of each other. We want to deal with it, so we select everything with A, then we press M and merge these vertices by distance, and as you can see it removed 16 vertices, which is good because we started with the 16 vertices cylinder. So now we have a sharp blade, and in the reference image it looks like this blade is a little bit like this direction, but I want to keep it in the middle. I think it looks better at the final image, so I keep it like that. What we can do now is, of course, I save. You should do it too at that point. Now, what we can do is assign a subdiv modifier to this object. So this is under add modifier, generate, and you have to choose subdivision surface. If you press it, it will pop up, and as you can see it is smoothed it out. Now the blade's sharpness gone, like this is not how we want to do it, because we want this edge and this edge to be sharp. So if you increase this min increase to 1, this will keep this sharpness, and we can also do it with these two, min increase 1. This won't curve this subdivision, it will remain sharp. This is what this creasing tool does. And if you want to see how the topology looks after subdivision, you can do it by going to this overlays menu and then turning on wireframe. If yours not looking like this, you can turn it on and off with the optimal display button. So I want to jump back to edit mode, and with this button you can disable it. So if we jump back to object mode with tab, you can see it is smoothed. If we jump to edit mode, it is the original mesh. This can be really handy, and as you can see we didn't select the whole view loop, so let's do it by holding Alt and Shift, select the whole loop and apply the min increase to these as well. So now if you look at the reference image, you can see that we have a blending in this area in the middle, so we want to do it as well. In edit mode, go to front view, and we want to select faces in both sides, so we go to X-ray mode, select these faces, and with I we can insert it again somewhere where this line appears. I don't know why this is off. It should be the same in both sides, but doesn't really matter. We can now use another very handy tool, circleize. So we want to make this a circle, so we can do it by pressing right mouse button and then selecting at the loop tools tab the circle. This will make it perfect circles. However, this is the loop tools add-on, you have to enable it at the preferences. This is an add-on made for Blender, comes with Blender, so if you do modeling, this is a need to have tool. So we can enable it in preferences, get extensions. If you search for loop tools, you can enable it here. So this will make it a perfect circle, and we want to scale it so that it matches this circle here. But now if we scale it just like pressing S, it will scale it only it will scale it every axis. So if you watch closely, you can see that it moved these points a bit in. Maybe it will look like these are the faces selected, and it moved it to the center because we scaled it in all directions. We don't want to do that, so I get back to this point. However, you can undo commands with Ctrl Z and redo it with Shift Ctrl Z. We only want to scale it in the Z and X axis. We can do it by pressing S, then pressing Shift Y to disable the Y axis. As you can see, it scales on this blue and this red line indicated Z and X. So we don't scale it in the Y axis. As you can see, it remained at where it should be. Now we want to insert this again by pressing I, and we want to insert it somewhere there. And so in this reference image it blends in. We want to do it now. So with all these faces selected, we just want to grab it on the y-axis a bit, and this should work out pretty well. But we can also check in the side view that these should be somewhere there. And now if we go to solid view, you can see that it blends these in as well. We don't want to do it, or at least I don't want to. I want this edge and these by in edge select mode, want these edges to be sharp, so we apply a min crease to that, and also in the back we apply a min crease for that. And now as you can see, this is sharp. Now as you can see, the blade is almost ready, or we can call it ready, but I want to make a hole in the center so the screw can grow in. We can do it by pressing to edit mode, pressing 1 on the keyboard, Alt Z to go to X-ray mode, and select these faces, eye them again, insert, and I want to make it kind of this big, and I want to delete these faces. So as you can see, we have a hole here, which is not really great, but we can deal with it. Another really handy tool in Blender is bridge. So you can use bridge with loop tools add-on. Also there's a built-in bridge option. I don't know where it's located, so you can just with F3 search for bridge edge loops, and this will bridge it for you. Now we can call this blade ready, but we also want to bevel these edges, because if you see closely, these are really sharp edges. We don't want that. Nothing that sharp in the real world. maybe the blade is, but we want to sharp everything that we marked with a crease. We can select it by hand, but that's a long process. We can select one crease, then press Shift G, and we can select similar edges. We want to select crease because all these are creased by one, and now we want to press Command B and scroll up once with the mouse wheel so we can add in another loop. But as you can see, this should be not like that, because if we add in a cube, you can see that everything is selected. If press Command B, it works out much well. This is because this cube has a scaling of 1, 1, 1. But the blade we have, if you select it and press period in the numpad, you can zoom it in, frame it in. As you can see, we have in the scale 0.33, so it's really low. And we want these values to be 1. So you can do that with pressing Ctrl A and then apply scale. This will jump to 1, 1, 1. But also before that we want to undo all these. So now go to object mode, select the object, Ctrl A, scale, and select the creased edge, Shift G, crease, and Command B or Ctrl B for beveling. Now, as you can see, these edges didn't remain sharp. You can leave it like that if you want, but in this panel you can change the number of cuts and also the profile. I want to change the shape profile to 1, and I want to decrease the length a bit. Like that, or yeah, I think this is going to be okay. And also I want to cut this object for UV unwrapping now. UV unwrapping is a different topic, but this is the most simple part when I can do it easily. With Ctrl- we can decrease selection, and as you can see, only selected the sharp edges. Now we can press U and mark seam. Also, I want to select everything and disable the creasing by pressing here 0. Now if we jump to object mode, we can see that it is looking quite nice. There are some ridges here. We can disable it by pressing shade smooth. It will get rid of it, and now we have the first model. Also in the reference image it is kind of curved, or it is have it more smooth. We can do it here. I like these sharp lines, but if you want to, you can delete these edges. Select only this one, Command B, and scale it more. Now, as you can see, it is soft, it is more sharp. I want to keep it as it was. Also, if you want to bring more curve, to these, you can add the loop cut in the middle. You can add the loop cut by pressing Ctrl R, and where you place the loop cut, there it will goes. We want to place it here, and if we scale it in and grab it a bit this way, As you can see, it is made this effect. Also, you want to do it before beveling because now this edge is off, but I like it how it looks. So yeah, I think it looks great. We finished with the first part of the tutorial. In the next video we are going to cover how to create this metal part. Also we are going to create the rivet for the blade. So thank you for watching, meet you in the next video, bye!